back with another episode of UWG Soccer Weekly with head coach Stacey, Balaam. We've played 3 games since we last met here on UWG Soccer Weekly, and last night the season ended in a tough way, a 1-0 defeat at Lee. Just talk about that game in general and what you saw out of your team in that final game.
Yeah, with it being a recent opponent, playing Lee last week, we didn't come out as well as what we'd hoped last week. We kind of feared them a little bit, knowing, how strong of a team they actually are. And so, we played a little inferior last week, and we kind of challenged them this time to start throwing the first punch and to keep punching, the whole way. And so we're really proud of the way that they approached the game. We're proud of the mindset. It was, just completely different to how they approached it last week. We changed Lee's game up a little bit. They're a very possession-oriented team. We upset their rhythm in possession. They couldn't get into a flow. They couldn't get their numbers forward as much as what they would have hoped. They resorted to a lot of shots outside the box, some hopeful balls into the box, which then led to one of their goals, which was an amazing header on their part, and credit to the girl for getting on the end of it. But all in all, we were really proud of the effort. We just lacked the cutting edge to score and win the game.
Another development since we last talked was Jasmine Santiago being named All Gulf South Conference second team, the first All GSC selection we've had since 2015. Talk about her game and what it means for her to be recognized as part of this program. Yeah,
it's massive because she has performed so well throughout the whole season, and in some games just never really got recognised for it with a goal or an assist. We may have lacked goals in certain games, but she was a standout performer for us. And what she does, the amount of pressure she puts on the back line for any team, single-handedly, the way she holds the ball up, she's just a nuisance to defend. And I'm glad that she got the recognition, because she may not have been one of the all-time leaders in the Gulf South this year, but for what she does on the field and the problems that she causes other teams, it's totally worth the recognition.
Let's touch on one more individual performance for the year. Jackie Donaldson, early in the year when she was leading in saves, you said you could see that as a positive, see it as a negative. But 2 stats that you really can't see any other way positive. She set single-season records in save percentage and goals allowed average for the year. Just talk about her play and what she meant for this team.
Yeah, when you look at Jack, it's deceiving because she's small and she's not the average height for a goalkeeper. And so I think that a lot of coaches see that as an advantage until they actually face her. She can pull off some unbelievable saves. She's athletic, she's technical, she reads the play really well. She's come a long way. I mean, just her knowledge of the game has improved over the last 2 years. Credit to Coach Ben that coaches her. Does a lot of repetition in practice just to keep her clean. They talk about the game, they talk about moments in the games of how she can improve, and I think that's really helped her as well, that she has him to lean on as well and ask questions. But there's still certain improvements that have to be made in her game, which I know that she'll be eager to improve on. But she's kept us in games this year, and she's another outstanding performer for us this season.
All right, so we've played 19 games this season. Now it's time for us to play a little game. I'm going to read a quote. You tell me who said it, okay?
Okay.
Success comes from staying the course and building upon baby step after baby step. Who said it?
Was that me?
That was you. All right, so that was your quote in the story when we announced your hiring here 2 years ago. What baby step did we maybe take this year to build towards a brighter future for UWG soccer?
Well, one of the biggest things for us, it could have, when you look back at it, it hurt our record. But, I stretched us this year with our scheduling. Out of conference schedule was really tough. We played a lot of nationally ranked opponents, which I knew was going to be a challenge. And I wanted to see what our team had in them to compete against these opponents. And, you can say that we were in every game, almost. I mean, there was a couple of games maybe we were a little out of our depth. But, to only lose to Barry, 1-0, to compete against Rollins, at the beginning of the season. We didn't know much about them. We didn't really know much about ourselves at that point. Rollins have gone on to be a really good team this year. They've had a great season. So when you look back at the games that we played out of conference, we needed to make small strides, I guess, to get to the bigger goal, which was when we reached certain points in the conference and we played tough opposition. We had to be ready to play, and I think those games out of conference challenged us. It exposed us, and so we were able to work on those, those coaching points and those areas of weakness that we needed to improve on. And I think that's where we've come. It takes baby steps to get where we need to go. And we've played a lot of freshmen this year as well. So that's a great lesson for them. They know the expectations. And now we're going to see, how they carry through throughout their careers, knowing the competition is so tough. So I think one of the baby steps that we had to take was adjusting the schedule so that it pushed us a little bit more.
And just to touch a little more on strength of schedule, riding back from the game last night with me and Dave were talking, shout out to Dave Haas. You look at the region rankings, 6 of the 8 teams ranked in the South region we played this year. One was a 0-0 draw, and then with the exception of the others, all were just 1-goal defeats. So like you said, just stepping that game up against tougher opponents and getting ourselves ready for a longer run late in the year.
Yeah, I think the next part now to our game is to improve offensively, so that we know that we have enough defensively to stay in games. Now we've got to go on and push to get a win.
All right, so in 2 weeks we have our first signing day. Just talk about, in general, recruiting and how that's going, building into next year and spring practice and where we'll go from there.
Yeah, we're excited about the recruits that we're bringing in, the ones that we have verbal commitments from. 2 of them being goalkeepers, so that's going to strengthen our goalkeeping area. It's going to challenge Jackie. She knows, that someone's going to come in nipping at her heels. So we're going to just tighten up in certain areas. We've increased the depth again in certain areas of the field now that we've just lost from our 7 seniors. So, bringing in hopefully 9. 9 have verbally committed. So we're hoping to strengthen the team even more going forward.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for joining us this season on UWG Soccer Weekly, and we'll look forward to hearing from you on November 14th with some new additions to the UWG Soccer program.
Awesome. Thank you.